Octopath Traveler, a turn-based RPG with a very unique art style that you can see in the background. Unlike a lot of other RPGs I played on the channel, this isn't a grand adventure to go and beat up an evil god, but instead 8 individual stories of personal self-discovery. Though I am still going to be beating up a lot of monsters, don't worry about that. And I do think that after you finish each of the 8 stories, that you can still go and kill an evil god in case you were missing that in the game, but that's not the point. That's not the purpose. But because this game is extremely long if you do every one of the stories, there are, as the game would suggest, 8 of them, I'm only going to choose one person to play as to start with. Everybody has their own beginning, and I believe it's 4 chapters of like a pretty lengthy story. So just starting with one here and seeing if people really want to see everything, maybe even up to the evil god, I don't know, is probably a good idea. Olberic, I believe, is kind of intended to be the main character. Certainly he's the guy that's on the shortcut menu that I have on my desktop right now, so although he's just kind of like, hey, he's a warrior guy, I think that would be a good start, but not the person I'm going to end up choosing. Everybody has their own, like, abilities, jobs that can actually be switched around with other characters, provided that you find the right secret areas. But they also have their own path action, which is sort of like a unique ability that each person has. Alphen, for example, can inquire, which gives him more information on NPCs you see around. Therion can steal. You know, RPG stuff. But the character I am going to be playing as is Cyrus. Cyrus is a scholar. Read that as mage. He's got all the elemental magic, which is actually very, very useful in this game. It's got a pretty great battle system, but it'll be a little bit till we get to that. But his story is also about trying to find a book. There's something about that is so milquetoast and different from like a lot of the other characters who have, you know, a very standard sort of like RPG storylines. But Cyrus is here to find a book. Not to save the world, not even to like save an individual person, just because he's really curious about it. So, let's go with him.
And so it was that Atlasdan was founded some 2 centuries ago. Indeed, our fair city-state is among the longest standing on the continent of Austera. But there was another city-state with a history as long and proud as our own that came to a tragic ruin only 8 short years ago.
Unlike all of the other Final Fantasy games I played on the channel, this story is not about 2 warring kingdoms where the evil kingdom is getting assistance or at least some sort of power from a nigh-on godlike, if not actually godlike entity. But warring kingdoms is still a part of the like a scenario that we're in.
Now, who can tell me its name? How about you, Cyrus?
And yes, that is the plot of all 4 of the Final Fantasy games that I played on the channel. Look, Square Enix cannot get away from that, can they?
I think it was...
Now. No need to get all flustered. There's no shame in not knowing an answer, so long as you have a desire to learn. The answer is in your textbook. Go on now, look it up.
Yes, Professor. Let's see. I believe it was Hornburg.
That is correct. Hornburg was ruled over by a royal family, said to be descended from priests of an ancient and long-forgotten religion.
That worshipped an evil god? Okay, yeah, there's hints of this in the storyline, but once again, the story is not actually about that.
On the other hand, our fair Atlastan was founded by one of the original clans that inhabited the Flatlands. Who can tell me how many clans lived in the Flatlands at the time? Your Highness?
The histories have it that 8 clans did live in the Flatlands in those days.
Correct you are, Your Highness. It was a time of great strife here in the Flatlands as the 8 clans waged a long and bitter war. Change would come when the armies of Grandport invaded these lands some 2 centuries ago. At the time, the rulers of Grandport sought to exert their influence over territories inland. Ironically, this compelled the warring tribes to put aside their differences and unite against their common foe. Oh, but look at the time. We'll pick up where we left off next time. Don't forget to read chapters 3 and 4 before our next lecture. And be prepared to answer questions on any of the material within.
Yes, Professor.
Thank you for another most stimulating lecture, Professor Albright.
Hello?
Hi, it's me. But of course, it's like, the real part of this, I mean, it's just like, yeah, exposition and everything is great, but the real thing I'm going to be doing here is getting into those archives. Got a book to find, after all. Yes, just outside the palace. And thankfully, at this point in time, I actually know how to run. That's right, there's a run button in this game, which I did not realize for quite a while. I'll admit here. Yeah, see, there's Olbrick right there. They really want you to play as him, I want to say. Which, don't worry, he's one of the 4 characters that I pick up on the journey, but still. It is, the game is clearly trying to push you in that direction. This is just blasphemous. There's nothing behind the throne. That is such a standard video game thing. Behind the waterfall, behind the throne. And there's nothing here. Hi. Okay. Of course, I can be like wandering around here, getting a lot of extra NPC dialogues. But, you know, the scrutinize ability is actually very similar to the one that Alphen I was talking about earlier, the Inquire. So we'll be getting even more NPC information eventually. After the game lets me unlock that. But for some reason, it's like, yeah, I don't get it right here.
Your Highness.
Yeah, the weird thing is that a lot of the characters, you know, of the 8 characters that exist in the game, each character has, like... there's only, like, 4 real abilities that are innate to characters that, like, exist.
Of course.
Like, Cyrus and Alphen pretty much do the same thing. Olberic, the warrior, can challenge people to duels. The hunter... Hanit? If I'm not remembering that incorrectly, can provoke people into attacking her. Like, you can either guide or allure NPCs into assisting you in battle. Kind of as like they call him in as a striker. And then the last one is that you can purchase things from NPCs or steal from them. Which I suppose is maybe like not quite the same thing, but is still quite similar in a lot of ways. Of course, unlike it's kind of strange how it works though, because Cyrus has just like a worse version of what Alphen has. Alphen has the Inquire ability, which is pretty much successful after you get to a certain level at every single point, whereas like Cyrus's ability, not as much.
The truth is,
Also, the game is clearly built for, like, the way of an ancient power being an evil god. Now, come on. But anyway, yeah. Like, the game, for example, the difference between provoke and, like, challenge to a duel, it's very silly because, you know, if you're provoking somebody into attacking you, that actually makes sense if you can fight, like, injured soldiers or orphanage matrons or, like, old women in town. Whereas, like, it does not really make as much sense for a warrior to be challenging, yeah, like,
Why, thank you.
elderly people. Even though they're still perfectly willing to accept duels with you.
indeed.
It's silly in that way, but still it gives you an entire, like, huge amount of extra interactions with every single NPC that exists in the game. Of which, due to the fact that this is, like, 8 different major storylines that exist, it's a very free-form sort of game. Like, in some ways, your normal sort of RPG is very similar to, like, a tree, you know, that branches off into a little, into side quests occasionally and whatnot. Whereas, like, this game is like a very dense bush. You can do anything in any order. You can actually, like, go to the far reaches of the world map from the very second. And the way it works is pretty much that there's, like, a town, and then you have, like, 1 or 2 areas where you can do random encounters, and then you get to another town. And the game is largely based on, okay, you got to get here in this town and probably be at this level, which is why it really encourages you to do, like,
Cyrus.
everybody's chapter 1, then everybody's chapter 2, so you're actually the right level to be able to do it, kind of throughout the game. I'm not going to be doing that, though, because I know how to grind.
Do you have a question?
So I just, look, if the game didn't want me to grind, then it shouldn't have given me the ability to do that. That said, like I said, though, still going to be grabbing each one of the party member. At least I want to have at least 4 party members, you know?
Hello.
Hello. Well, anyway, into the library. Just right down here.
It's me, Cyrus.
Here to browse the special archives, where there may or may not be evil superbooks in there. But also knowledge, and what's more important than knowledge? Nothing. Nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Church of the Flame. Yeah, if I was playing as, who is it, Ophelia? Be hearing a lot more about that. Kind of the religion of the land.
I see.
So something you might have noticed as I'm kind of going through each one of these areas is that, the depth of field and the bloom in this game is kind of out of control. It'll become a lot more obvious as I continue to go through the areas, like other areas in the game. But things are, like, blurry if the camera is not focusing on them. And something I was kind of tempted to do from the very beginning of the game was maybe disable that, or at the very least with the bloom turn it down. I don't know if like, obviously that is not like the vanilla way to be playing the game, but if you got any opinions in the comments, I have the INI file all prepared and ready to do that if it's a little bit annoying.
Many thanks.
And aside from that, let's go look at these books. Yep, those are 4 identical textures on 4 identical 3D models. I don't know how you can even tell that there are any books missing here, but whatever. Look, this is an area that's only going to exist for this cutscene,
Dilemma.
so it's fine.
Professor
Yeah, there's that bloom, baby. If you didn't notice it before, it's just like, look at that sprite right there. And there is like a full breadth of different biomes that exist in this world. In this continent, we got desert down below, frosty lands up above, forested stuff and everything. And it's like when you get to like the coast and the desert, it is ridiculous.
Many thanks. Cyrus Albright, by your request, sir.
Do enter. My apologies for summoning you on such short notice.
How might I be of assistance, Headmaster?
That treatise on arcane studies you published. What in the gods' names were you thinking?
Sir? I do believe I made my hypothesis perfectly clear.
I'm not talking about your hypothesis. You went out of your way to cite one of the texts in our special archives. The knowledge housed in those tomes is the Royal Academy's greatest treasure. It is not to be divulged to the public at your whim. Laying it bare in one of your silly papers is out of the question.
I am fully aware of the value of those tomes, Headmaster. It is for that very reason I would share the knowledge with my peers.
You are to share nothing! That wisdom is for the Academy and the Academy alone.
But that goes against everything.
Enough, Cyrus!
Even my best argument is sure to fall on deaf ears. The Headmaster sees knowledge as a medal or precious stone, something to be appreciated by its rightful owner alone. Knowledge is power, and power is to be hoarded. An unfortunate attitude, indeed. My sincere apologies, Headmaster. It won't happen again. Is there...
That is all. You may go. Wait, there was one last thing.
Sir?
I heard the special archives will be closing early today. If you have research to do there, I would do so quickly.
Good gods. It's as if he enjoys watching me suffer.
You and me both, Cyrus.
Thank you for your concern, Headmaster. In that case, I'll be on my way.
Enter.
Excuse me.
What's the matter?
All right, back to the archives. Do I get the ability to? Still not yet. Come on now. Look, I love the idea of being able to like get a lot more information on individual NPCs. Not that it really matters too much. I want to start doing it already. Come on, hurry it up.
A moment of your time.
Though, I am to be perfectly honest, I don't know. I find a lot of the... I do find the story a little bit boring in this game.
So.
Look, I don't want to say it, but I'm... Look, obviously I'm still going to be showing it off and everything, but it is... Kind of why I've been talking over it when we don't have the full voice acting going on. Yes, indeed. Well, there's one character that might be able to do that, you know, with this whole stealing ability. That said, kings and whatnot are not going to be playing a huge part in this game, which is, again, if nothing else, I like the idea of, you know, personal stories rather than it always being the Warring Kingdoms, evil gods thing that I was talking about. Though, yeah, what can I say? That's me. That's my thing.
Indeed.
We don't have detectives at this period of time, so kind of the pseudo-medieval world. No, that would be more like for a Life Alive game, which is this game actually from the beginning really reminded me of. Needless to say, all the characters still exist in the same world, whereas in the old Squaresoft RPG for the Super Nintendo, it was also, I think it might have been 8 characters, or maybe it was like 6 or something, but they existed all throughout different periods of history, and they all had their own plot lines, very similar to this game. Additionally, that game also had a really good combat system, closer to like a traditional roguelike, actually.
Take care.
Not in the sense of, you know, procedural generation and permadeath, but in the sense of it's sort of like grid-based and movement-based. Like you and enemies existed on the same grid, and moving around would like pass a turn, or casting something would pass a turn. It's pretty cool in how that worked. And let's say it's just like I do think that this game also has a pretty cool battle system, sort of unique in its own way. So anyway, here we go, finally. So, scrutinize. Here, it is going to be absolutely guaranteed every single time I do it. In other areas, it's only going to be a percentage-based, and if you fail X amount of times, people will stop talking to you. Until you pay the local tavern to get people to... Come on, like me again. Indeed. Alright, and, you know, you get, like, the very useful little mini-map on here, so you don't have to, like, worry too much about... Okay, let's talk to him first. So you don't have to worry too much about, like, trying to figure out exactly where you need to go. Minimap is, very, very useful in that way. Discern something about, like, their whole deal, what's up with them, and also their age for some reason. What's up with that? I don't know. Sometimes you can, like, infer their weight and height and stuff. Sometimes if, like, there is a theme going on in one of the towns, like, oh, hey, this is the like, arena town, famous for its gladiatorial battles. You can like size up how good of fighters people are. Also gives you like some information, not just items, which I believe just appeared right here. Hey, that's your mana. The idiosyncratic sort of items that you get in this game. Grapes are healing, plums are mana, olives are revive items. You know how that goes. You know, it's like heal from here, etc. and so on. It's a world map, by the way. Get very handy, which, trust me, this is very handy sort of fast travel. You can sort of like see how large this place is. Like I said, it's like one big world map. You can go anywhere from the very beginning. Usually set up like it's town, then like transitory area where you can be attacked by things, then town, etc. and so on. Bunch of like little secret things off on the sides, but it's generally not very difficult to fill out if you're looking to do that. For right now, obviously not really going too much of anywhere. So then, oh yeah, scrutinize can also give you a whole bunch of other stuff than just finding an item places. It can give you discounts at the inn. It can give you better stocked shops. It can make it like easier to, say, provoke people and murder all the old women that you want to when you get some of the other characters. What do I want? I want to do the thinking emoji and then figure out how old you are. Yeah, and the and what you got to say about what's going on here. Headmaster Yevon. You wouldn't have anything to do with the Final Fantasy X guy, would you? Nah, definitely not. Well, obviously.
But of course.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's only two people. Look, this is not a very difficult mystery. I don't know why you had to go into the town square to what, talk directly
Not
to me?
Exactly.
Oh, did I say the headmaster? I meant the guards. I was just saying how absolutely simple this mystery is. Look, it's a tutorial, you know? Not that it gets too much more complicated later, but still.
Oh.
No, I think, yeah, that's obvious.
No.
Well, I mean, his key was used to unlock it, but he wasn't the one stealing books, unless... Now, who could that be? Could it be the only colleague that I've talked to? Who also, that you got just by, you know, looking at him as severe gambling debts? Who could this be? Deep moral choices. Really working out the brain muscles here. Okay.
Yes.
That's a little bit judgmental.
Shall we begin?
Not in a literal sense, not in like a figurative sense. we're going into the catacombs. One thing about the
Now then.
one thing about the world of Orstera is that it is rife with ruins. They're literally all over the place. I don't know, like this entire place was, I don't know, built on top of 7 to 8 other. See how much I played this game, by the way. I don't know. It's just like you just go throw on a stream and then do a little bit of grinding. What can I say? But yeah, all of those. Basically, what's going to happen is that I'm just going to load up one of those save files to do the next chapter, and it's going to be as simple as doing that. Okay, here we go. This is like what your usual dungeony type of place looks like. And here's your first basic enemy, an evil lamp.
Now, what next?
I don't know. Anyway. All right. So, I was talking about the battle system. You can see on top there, that is basically turn order. Turn order works in the exact way that you'd expect. Same way with like HP, SP, you know, using items, whatever. The interesting thing is like the vulnerability and breaking enemies here. So every enemy has like a certain amount of things that they're vulnerable to. And then pretty much what your goal is to try and break them. That will stun them for, well, the rest of the current turn, and then also their next turn, and also any attack that you do deals extra damage to them. So pretty much in this game especially, you want to have like a pretty big breadth of different attacks that you can possibly do. There we go. So stabs, pretty good. And then it's like having multiple hits, because breaking them in one hit is only going to be for these first few areas. I think that you get like a maximum of up to like 12 hits that you have to do to break them, but you always want to be kind of gunning for that, and having extra attacks is usually the best way to do that. How do you get extra attacks? The boost! Every single turn, you get extra boost. That means now I can attack 3 times with the weapon, which does not only a lot of extra damage, but also makes it a lot easier to break things. That does not apply to spells. Spells still only hit however many times they hit, but one of the things that like Cyrus as a scholar has is that his higher level spells hit multiple times. So, you know, it is still very possible to get a multiple hits in, even despite your inability to use boosting. Pretty much conserving your boosts and then like trying to hit the things with maximum power. Come on. Hitting them with maximum power is going to be an important part of the gameplay. Using boosts means for one turn, you're not going to be able to gain boost. So kind of keep that in mind. Which is why you might want to use non-boosted spells, for example, to take out an enemy as you're continuing to build up the amount of like boost stuff that you get. Maximum is 3, even though you can carry up to 5 points. So kind of keep that in mind. You can still do that if you're like if you're about to break an enemy.
I've done my research.
What you can do is you can like make sure that you have all 5 so that you can, you know, at least use one max boosted, 1 2 boosted, because it's like it is for the current and then subsequent turn that they're going to be broken. Still, though, it's like if you got enough levels and everything, you don't really have to worry too much about like maximizing your DPS and whatnot. It's pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of how like the press turn system works in like some of the Megami Tensei and Persona series, for example. Where in that, if you hit an enemy's weakness, you get an extra turn. Here, if you hit an enemy's weakness, it's like you get that much closer to like crafting your own extra turns depending on how much defense they actually have. Traveling Peddler here is only going to be appearing in the first chapter stuff because, well, you kind of not really are planned to have a whole ton of... Yeah, just give me a few of these. You're kind of not really planned to be having a whole ton of party members or anything, you know, giving you the ability to heal. So having somebody to sell you stuff here is kind of important. All right, is level 2 about the level that I want to be going into this because it's clearly a fight? Whatever, it's fine.
What?
Russell, do you really have a fireplace in a cave? That seems bizarre. You telling me that you could afford to install a fireplace in here, but not just get a house somewhere, even if it's kind of outside town? Like a little shack or something. Instead, you have this fireplace that is definitely going up into like the headmaster's room right now.
Come now.
Well, anyway, give me the book. Come on. It's like there's not really too many other... Look, there's only so many people that live in these towns.
The truth is...
Gasp.
Huh?
A hole. Is that so?
Come on, we all know how this is gonna go. Let's do it already. You could have had a book. And yes, every single one of the bosses and every single, like, you know, even regular character gets, like, just an absolutely ridiculous boss sprite associated with him. I kind of love it, to be honest. Water wisp? No, that's gonna... Okay, just do it. As you can see here already, it's like additional hits to be breaking enemies now. And there's no way that I have stuff like, you know, the ability to do anything related to...
Oh, flames!
There we are. I have no ability to do stuff like, I don't know... Hey, stop that.
Now, what next?
Okay, just do this.
Oh, flames!
Hit with, like... I have no ability to hit with, like, a spear or anything, but, you know. Oh, boy. I actually might die. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna die here. Unless... No, he just decided to try and hit me with a book instead. That'll work.
Let's try this.
No boosting items, by the way. Just not really a something possible to do. Yeah. Well, I could defend. One of the things that defend does is that it not only works like a defend, but it also does have you act earlier on the next turn, which is sort of an interesting way to go about doing that. A lot more unique than... just do the fire. A lot more unique than just having it be like, take less damage. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be powering up. It's just like, this is the point in time that, yeah, I'm going to actually do that. And... yeah, that's enough. Oh. Now I could go full on, take him down, but I feel like the water wisps might actually kill me instead. So let's just use the grape right now. Yeah, not the best, but hey, every time, even if I'm just healing up here, that does mean that I am going to be able to get more damage next time due to the whole boost system. It's like no turn is wasted. Come on.
Oh, flames!
There we go. It's got to be getting very close to actually... I'm going to risk this.
Oh, flames!
There's 2 down at least. Yeah, okay. Hey, at least I didn't die from that, because he could have easily cast something, you know? Alright then, my dude. What do I have for items right now again? Yeah, it's mud or something, because here's the thing. I'm going to be breaking you in just a second. Well, actually, should I? No, let's maybe, like, wait. Yeah, do this.
Let's try this.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do max melee hit against him. And that'll break him for the next turn as well. So he gets no fights. No fight ability. This, on the other hand, still a little bit worried, but, you know, maximize the damage while he's still vulnerable. I think that also breaking him does cancel out his... Breaking him does cancel out his,
What is the logical course of action?
His, whatever his power-up thing is anyway, too. Yeah, let's just make absolutely sure. I'm not losing too much health. Because I feel like he might be taking a, he might be trying for a big hit here coming up soon anyway. And that's okay, I can take that. Yeah, here we go. Cancel out the power-up. And then now I also get big hit, which, I don't know, sure. Oh, he has weak to ice. Okay, good to know. Not weak to fire, though.
What is the logical course of action?
Logical course of action is to wait one more turn so I can get my boost back. And then just hit him with a maximum hit.
Now, what next?
Although, may as well, right? If only I knew how much health he had.
Now,
Cyrus does also have the ability to do like the analyze ability of the game, so
my focus is unparalleled.
there we go. Not gonna be max hit, but this is your start boss. This is your basic boss. It should be fine. 200, not bad. Obviously could have optimized this a little bit more, but this game is not that hard, let's be honest here. Look, don't worry too much about it. Now weakness in. And I'm sort of... Yeah?
Now, what next?
Now I do get a hit, and I do get... And then if I just do a regular hit in the next round, yeah. He'll get broken and stunned. Good. And then just basically... Yep. There we go. A little bit tricky for a second, but after taking out his ads, didn't really matter too much. Nice. You can see that you do get bonuses for breaking enemies. I believe the JP one is a domination bonus, which I'm not entirely sure how it works. I think it might be killing every enemy at the same time, something like that. And then you also get a untouched bonus for money if you untouched bonus for money if you don't get hit at all, if you take no damage. Which obviously it is possible if you go before the enemies and you break them immediately. It's not too bad. Or if you just like totally and completely out-level them and just kill them all in one hit, even going through their defense. But you know, it's most of the time the extra experience bonus for doing the break is that's the usual one you're going to see. Aside from that, though, I also got a refreshing jam. That is your elixir of the game. As far as I know, I don't think there's any sort of like mega elixir that applies to every single enemy, but there's also a revitalizing jam that works to restore your BP as well.
Thank you.
That's the really good stuff because, you know, trying to make sure that you have like maximum, like the level 3 BP stuff is that's how you maximize the damage on things. When you want to have like that level 3 for when you break enemies, and then just you hit them with the most powerful thing possible. Right now, that would probably be like some melee weapons, but I think late game, at least from what I've seen, that spells are a lot more effective. You know, hitting multiple times and everything like that. After all, much like the old Final Fantasies, this also does have the cap of 9,999 damage. Well, unless you do some stuff. There's ways that you can surpass that, but for the most part, that's your, let's just say soft cap.
Actually...
Oh? So yes, that wasn't the secret book that I was looking for.
I see.
Long before that.
Yes.
And that's the book that I'm looking for in this storyline.
Actually...
A very valuable book.
Most intriguing.
What again?
Is Artemis?
No, definitely not. He doesn't like me. And obviously that could easily go around,
Ah, yes.
speak with, and, well, yeah, I would say. He's also probably been arrested too. You know how that goes. Alright, a lot of different information, like I said, that I can get, but let's keep going on with the story for right now. Although, a large feather, that's like sellable loot items. There's a bunch of those in the game, after all. Usually find those as like the treasure chest things, but as always with these games, I know that treasures don't really matter that much, so I don't really go out of my way to go get treasure chests.
Albright, as asked, sir.
Good. Enter. Thank you, Lucia.
Yes, headmaster. What can I do for you? Something tells me he's not about to offer a commendation.
Professor Albright, a most troubling report has reached my ears.
A report, sir?
An anonymous source claims that you have abused your prestigious position to enter into an illicit relationship with Her Highness the Princess.
Oh. And you believe this report, sir?
If it is untrue, then say so.
Why, it is unfounded, unsubstantiated, balderdash of the highest order.
I would like to take your words at face value, Professor, but I fear the situation is not so simple. A rumor regarding the royal family, even an unsubstantiated one such as this, is sure to spread quickly. If we do not take swift action, Princess Mary's good name could be forever sullied. That is something that simply cannot be allowed to happen. Surely.
And so what do you intend to do with me, sir?
It is not an easy decision to make. Dismissing you outright would be tantamount to an admission of guilt.
If I may be so bold, Headmaster, what about a sabbatical? Professor Albright is put on extended leave, while official accounts state that he's doing fieldwork in a distant land.
What say you, Cyrus? This way, both the Academy's reputation and your own will remain intact.
My reputation?
Do we have a problem, Professor?
Not at all, Headmaster. On the contrary, this might prove the perfect opportunity.
Opportunity? For what?
As a matter of fact, there is a matter which has piqued my interest of late. I was just wondering when I might find the time to do a bit of research in the field. I think I will set forth on a journey. in search of an ancient tome that disappeared 15 years ago. Besides, if I am not permitted to share what I have learned with my peers and the public, there is little point in continuing my research here.
Is that so? Do tell, Professor. What is it that you intend to investigate?
As regards a certain tome. Now, if you will forgive me, I must begin packing for my journey. Good day to you, headmaster.
An enigma as ever, that one.
Professor!
Oh, Cyrus, what is it?
I heard that you were leaving the academy.
Then you heard true.
Professor, I'm so sorry.
I see. So you were the source of the rumor.
You knew?
Not until just this moment, when you apologized. And yet, I cannot fathom your motive. Why would you tell such a terrible lie?
You're always helping Her Highness, answering her every question. I just wanted you to pay more attention to me.
And that's why you went to the headmaster.
Yes, but I just wanted to get you in a little trouble. I didn't think they would. I am so sorry, Professor. Can you ever forgive me?
Worry not, my dear. It just so happens that I was looking for a good excuse to go on a journey.
You were?
For some time now, I've wanted to travel the realm and see what can be learned beyond these halls. I dare say the timing couldn't have been better. You see, there's a certain matter I simply can't wait to investigate. So fret not, my girl. If anything, you've done me a favor. Besides, I am not entirely without fault in the matter. Indeed, I have not been as attentive to you as I should. Had I realized your true intention sooner, I would not be in this position.
Professor, whatever do you...
If only I had realized how devoted you were to your studies, my dear girl.
My studies.
I have always striven to treat all my students equally. And yet, Her Highness is always eager to ask questions, and I was all too eager to answer them. In doing so, I may have given the impression that I favored her above you and the others. This was not my intention, but I am at fault all the same. Yes, if only I had seen you for the ardent and devoted young scholar that you are.
Professor... Perhaps you're not quite as sharp as I thought you were.
Yes?
Never mind.
In that case, I should be off. Pray do not shirk your studies, my girl.
Yes, Professor. Will I ever see you again?
I do not see why not, provided we both still live.
Yeah, that depth of field right at the end of that cutscene there, I tell you. But you can really see it a lot on sides of everything here. But still, it is part of the game, which is why I don't know if I want to turn it off just yet. But it is just something that I would point out and maybe float to the comment section here. Look at how like the barrels get absolutely enormous when it zooms in here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, anyway. So I can do like a lot of provisioning here. There's also like the taverns, which is where you start up stories, change party members, whatever you want to do. Here a tale is basically, hey, when you enter a town, it will tell you like, it will say, hey, do you want to start up the next storyline? And you can be like, no. Wait a little bit. That's where you go and, like that. That's where you go and restart that back up where you actually begin it. And then the characters basically like walk into town like they've never been in there before. But, yeah. Alright, in as you do. I think it becomes more expensive the more you use it or something like that. But anyway, now let's get out into the world at large. Next chapter from here is what? Oh, I think I need to actually leave here first.
Now, I must find out all I can about From the Far Reaches of Hell. My erstwhile colleague, Det, knows more about arcane studies than anyone I know. Last I heard, she sojourned in Quarry Quest. I should begin my journey there.
I mean, I know. Am I considered a god of this world? Yes. Yes, I am. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I can go, like, find all of the other main characters that I did not start the game with. Be part of the party. Can also do all their storylines at the same time. And here's the next place that I need to get to. All the way over here. And that's pretty much the basic loop of the game. That it's like you wander around, you go into town, you start up the next part of whatever the storyline is. Or you can choose not to, and then, like, yeah, go back to the tavern to start that one up again. But let's just walk around here a little bit first. Maybe even, like, see what it looks like when you're going over to one of the other characters, for example. Because after all, they are kind of scattered all about the world. Side quests. Also, yoink. Side quests. It does not give you side quest like markers like it does for the main story, so it's a little bit more difficult to do. Not entirely clear sometimes where you need to go or who you need to talk to. And sometimes it does require things like having to, do the whole scrutinize, having to beat people up, having to, like, purchase something from them or steal something from them as part of the story. Power of path actions, as it says right here. Might be more than one way to do it, but that is also, you can go up here first. Danger level 1. Like I said, you can go anywhere, really. However, the problem becomes it's like the farther you go out, the more difficult things get. Alright, weak to darkness. Do not have darkness here, so... You also weak to this? You are! Great. So Cyrus begins his adventure beating up all the pigs in the land.
What is the logical course of now that ice pierce them through?
Honk. And there we go.
Not bad.
Yeah. Farther you get out from the starting areas, the more difficult the areas get. And they do get quite difficult. Okay. Skills. Let's learn me up some. Job system is a big part of the old game. Get one more of those. And then the ideal thing would be trying to get analyze. Get the HP and one weakness so that you can kind of like, rather than having to experiment around or use Cyrus's normal like starting ability of being able to discern at least one weakness. Danger level 17. Yeah, I'll be fine. Probably. I don't know what the problem. I don't know what you're talking about.
Time to teach you a lesson.
No, time to run away. Let's see if I can before I die. Nope.
I still have so much to learn.
Well, I gave it a try. Here, there is one thing that I want to see over here if I can possibly get to it, which is why I'm trying to make a mad dash over in this direction. Learn skills unlocked after 4 skills, but am I going to be able to get 100 job points before that? Probably not. You know what? Almost definitely not. Yeah, okay.
Time to teach you a lesson.
Well, maybe I can run away here first. Oh. Unless... No. Okay, fine. I guess I'm not going to be able to do that. Maybe I could even go, like, load up one of the other save files that I have, but, maybe I'll do that in actually just, like, a little bit here. But at least I want to show, like, the basics of going through here at the very lowest of levels. So yeah, if I didn't have Cyrus in the party, I wouldn't be able to do the whole study foe thing. It would all just be mysteries until I was able to hit one of the weaknesses, just... Yeah? No. Figure that out just by hitting them with one of the weaknesses. But, yeah. It's like, I suppose if you can get through areas without, yeah, there we go. If you can get through areas without getting into battles, you can basically just, especially with the fast travel system, you can pretty much just go through every area and like kind of then teleport places when you need to. At least that's the idea of what you would want to do. And there's these just very, very natural sort of transitions between the many areas of the land. Oh, I have no more grapes? I thought I bought at least one. I don't know, whatever. Look, you also get your SP and HP restored as you get levels. But yeah, you can see what I'm talking about with like the depth of field. Yeah, yeah. Look at this.
I've done my research on you.
I think it's a bit excessive, but I don't know. It depends on...
Oh, flames! Rain.
Yep, that's what I thought. What everybody else has to say.
Oh, flames! Rain. Wrong.
And hey, Cyrus, especially at higher levels, can do that very easily. I mean, so can anybody else who also gets the ability to like cast spells, but Cyrus has a fairly easy job with it. Okay, so what do I want to do? Do I want to go down here and to the right? If I wanted to like check out one of the other character storylines,
I've done my research on you.
provided that, you know, I'm not going to be fighting too many things here. All right, and then hit him with a max level, basically. That is the plan here.
Oh, flames! Rain. Wrong.
But yes, this is the town where you get the cleric. The cleric character, of course, has healing as well as light magic, increasing the amount of like weaknesses that you can hit and everything like that. But you know, healing is also just good. Healing's good. Hi.
Day to you.
Talking about like the flame religion, and here's where the whole success thing comes in. And yeah, if you fail enough times, NPCs just stop talking to you. Then you got to go and get like a good reputation from. You got to go back and get a good reputation from the. Oh, I can't go over here. Oh, I can. From the tavern again. It looks great. Incredibly blurry, but otherwise pretty good. Just so very blurry. Okay. Yeah, green stuff like that. New character. And it's like, yes, it would be like an entire extra hour of like the start of a campaign to do this again right now. Should need brave allies. The stories are separate. They're very separate. But I mean, obviously the characters are all in the same party. I guess the idea is that they're helping each other out. You can also get like you know how the Tales of games have skits where the party members will talk to each other? Same sort of thing here, but they're not like canonical to the stories. So that is pretty much how you do stuff. And obviously, like I said, I have a whole bunch of save games kind of set up where I already have gotten a whole bunch of these characters. And, you know, I have them all prepared and ready to continue on with the story, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing next time.